And then we're about to do the clap. Get ready for it. On go. 3, 2, 1, go. That shit better have been visible.
It was visible. It was in front of my face, and it actually is visible on the waveform in the form of a blip. The most obvious blip of all time.
All right.
You
Hit us with an intro. Yep.
Are you gonna do that thing where you zoom in on me alone and then zoom out? You gonna do that
probably. Well, now that you've pointed it out, I'll probably just use this as the intro.
All right. Hello and welcome to episode 28 of the Gravity Cancel podcast. I'm Sergeant Spank Cakes. Joining me, as always, is Rox. And I know you can't see me, Rox, but in honor of the patch, I am rocking a Ryu and Kin t-shirt.
Oh, nice. I'm actually wearing a Rooster Teeth t-shirt. Completely irrelevant.
Almost appropriate. It'll be appropriate once we get a Ruby crossover.
Yes.
So how you doing,
First
Rox?
of all, gross. But if we get an anime crossover and it starts with Ruby, I will jump off of a bridge. Dead ass. But I just realized something funny. You mentioned you called me out for always listening to music when we record. Yeah. And I just realized, I think it was last episode. Like, I haven't watched it back. I listened to it back. But I was, like, dancing the entire time.
I don't think so. I don't remember that.
I can't remember. It was one of the podcasts, one of the last two. It would have to be because we just started doing video. But anyway, go on with the rest of the intro.
How you doing? You doing okay?
Oh, I'm doing great. Fantastic.
Good.
Got a little hat trick today.
Those
in sales will know what I'm talking about.
I thought you were talking about hockey. I thought you picked up hockey in the great state of Florida.
Nope, just been watching Shoresy.
Yeah, I need to check that out. We were talking about it before. So for those that don't know, Letterkenny's this great Canadian show. Probably
fantastic.
Neighbors with Koselix. And there's apparently a spinoff based on one of the characters. So I'm going to have to check that out. Is it on Hulu as well?
Yeah, it's on Hulu. There's like 6 episodes. Cool. Good.
Easy. One night and call it a day. And he's like one of my favorite characters, so it'll be fun to watch.
Oh, it's so good. This is going to be so boring for anybody who doesn't know what the fuck we're talking about. But this character, so the main character in Letterkenny also plays this Shoresy guy who's a reoccurring character that just kind of pops up, and he's kind of a douchebag, and he's just kind of like the troll of the show. But it's the same guy who also happens to be the writer-director of the show, Jared Kiso. But they always have his face obscured, and he does like a higher-pitched, goofy voice. And it's just one of those things that as you watch the show, you realize, wait a second, that's Jared Kiso. But now in Shoresy, obviously his face is shown, and just the way that he is put together in this show is hilarious. The way that he looks, it's just, you gotta love him.
Do they actually show him? Or is it
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Because he's the main character.
Yeah. Cool. I'm excited because you don't ever see his face, even though you know who it is.
After this, I'm going to make you watch the trailer for it. It's hilarious.
All right. I'll check it out. So, Rox, what have you been playing?
Destiny again.
Of course you have, you degen.
New season just dropped. Actually, yesterday, new dungeon just dropped. And, waited up late, waiting for Santa, a.k.a. Nick and Ethan, to get on so we could do the dungeon together. They never got on to do the dungeon. And now, maybe, if they get on after this, I might finally get to do the dungeon. But yeah, mostly Destiny.
How often do they release dungeons?
It's kind of random. There's not really like a schedule for it. The last one we got was for the Bungie 30th anniversary, which was was that before Witch Queen? I think it might have been like October or something. And so then now they're making it like you have to pay extra for the dungeons unless you buy like unless you buy like the deluxe edition for the every expansion, then they come with it.
It's like free to play, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's some stuff locked behind the paywall, but I mean,
after buying both Destiny 1 and Destiny 2, I don't have any desire to go back.
It's all
and
worth it.
revisit.
It's all worth it.
No way. So, you drop Yu-Gi-Oh completely?
Holy fuck! Oh, son of a! I buy so many battle passes, and then don't fucking finish playing the game. I do it with Apex all the time. Listen, I know we're really getting an uncharted, just pure off-topic conversation here, but
right.
So Nick and Ethan, or oh god, what did he change his name to? Profane Kane, formerly known as Nico Kane. Him and Eazy-E, buddies in real life. Where any game that requires 3 people, we usually play it together. And we have this vicious cycle where it all started with Destiny, and then every once in a while, we'll like Ethan will drop out. He'll be like, I don't want to play this game right now, and then he'll stop being a gamer, and he'll like feed us all this shit about how like, oh, you know, I'm just focusing on me, dog, just focusing on life, you know, just going to the gym more, going to bed early, all this horse shit, and then Nick will be like, hey guys, you see that new thing that happened in Call of Duty Warzone? And then we're like, oh god, we gotta go fry some hot dogs in COD. So then we hop in Warzone, play Warzone for like, this time around it was like a week and a half maybe. And then usually we need that like battle royale in our veins, just inject it, and we're getting tired of Warzone. So then we'll play Apex for like 2 days. And then my dumbass will buy the fucking battle pass for Apex. Like, oh man, we're having a fucking blast. We've never had this much fun playing a shooter before, ever. Just like the last 10 times we tried Apex. I buy the battle pass. We play it for 3 days. I get like tier 5. And then next time I log in, it's like 8 battle passes later. And then eventually we go back to Destiny. Every fucking time.
I ask about you playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Still and you go on a battle pass tangent.
Yeah. Which, funny enough, so all you people need to know about my career is that I am in sales and I go into the people's houses. So I see a lot of weird shit, meet a lot of weird people. But today I was with a nice family, very, very like redneck, you know, redneck Southern type family, mom, dad, and then like, I don't know, like maybe middle school age kid. And he was sitting there on the laptop at the dinner table, and he starts talking about how his like debit card or credit card that his mom gave him won't let him buy the new Fortnite season. And it took everything in my professional body not to just start going, Fortnite Battle Pass. I just shit out my ass. It took everything in me not to do it. Holy.
Man, I can't believe how relevant Fortnite still is with the youth of the world.
Didn't they just drop something like no
mode?
build mode?
Yeah,
no build mode or something like that. That's actually what made me never want to try Fortnite. That, and I'm not big on third person shooters.
Yeah. Early on, it was really fun. Before, like, I was playing on console, so like before people could really build, and like it took everything in your power to build a simple house. Like, that's when Fortnite was fun. Now they just like throw up a skyscraper in about half a second. Mm-hmm. But the reason I was asking about Yu-Gi-Oh! Is
back in my day, we 1v1'd on Guardian on Halo 3, and we were happy with it.
The reason
if we wanted to build, we'd go to Forge.
God, Jesus Christ. The reason I'd asked about Yu-Gi-Oh! Is because, Rox, I have been playing a digital card game again. I say again, this is the first time I played this digital card game.
People who watch this video style on YouTube just saw me make the happiest face to the biggest cringe ever when you started with, I started playing and I was like, he's been playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Oh my god, he told me about it. And then another digital card game.
Yu-Gi-Oh! Sounds
Hearthstone?
very predatory. Nope, not Hearthstone. Again, very predatory.
Magic the Gathering?
Legends of Runeterra. The Riot game.
I've actually never played it.
Let me tell you.
I get that one in Hearthstone mixed up.
No. Hearthstone is very casual. It's like you play your game and you don't have to pay attention to what the opponent's doing. Legends of Runeterra is like a little bit like that, but there's some nuance to it. but it's incredibly free-to-play friendly. And, like, I'll probably drop some money on it eventually, but I'm getting so much, so many different cards and different, like, the way you craft, you get wild cards, and they have different rarities, and you can craft, like, any one of, like, a rare card if you have a rare wild card.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's, like, there's different champions and whatnot, and you can create a deck with, like, 2 different regions and up to 6 different champions, and they're, like, the League of Legends champions. Dude, I don't know half these champions because I haven't played League since, like, 2012. But I'm hooked. It is fun.
I do not need another card game in my life.
This one's worth it, man. I'm telling you, the PvE on it is just as fun as the PvP.
Well, welcome to the Variety Gaming Podcast.
All right, we'll get back to some Brawlhalla for. We got 3 listeners, man. This is unheard of.
What's up?
Loaf and Mio hopping in as well. Yesterday, I got to play with Mio or 39 or 39 Mash Dash, depending on what platform.
Pick one.
Tell Mio to pick one.
I heard he beat your ass too.
He did not. Unfortunately, he did not. We sparred for about maybe 30, 45 minutes, and we have another Orb Blasters person in the Discord.
Ooh.
Yeah, we got some diversity. So, I gave him some schooling, little 3-piece and a soda with the cannon, and it was a lot of fun.
That was a lot. That was a lot right there. 3-piece and a soda with a cannon.
Yep. So, shall we get into a rant, Rocks?
Yeah. Oh, I didn't even notice you put the rant up top. All right.
Yeah.
Hit me with it. All I see is the word doomsayers, so I'm listening.
This one kind of ties in with the patch notes and the topic of the podcast. So, ever since last weekend, which was the Multiverses beta, or no, alpha, it was an alpha, people have been like, oh, Brawlhalla's doomed. Multiverses is great. And, you know...
Didn't they say that about the Nickelodeon game that currently has like 30... daily players on Steam?
Something like that. Now Multiverses has a bit more merit. They're doing everything right that Nickelodeon did wrong. But they're like, everyone's like praising it, and it looks good. I'm not going to say it doesn't. But consequently, we had this patch note. These patch notes dropped for Brawlhalla this week, and they were lackluster to say the best. And now everyone in the world being Reddit, is like, oh, Brawlhalla's doomed. The devs suck.
Twitter's way worse, player.
Really?
Brawlhalla Twitter is the whiniest shit. I mean, listen, don't cancel me for saying that. Brawlhalla Twitter, because I greatly enjoy reading it. But holy shit, some of y'all need to calm the fuck down. Holy shit.
FGC Twitter is the same type of cesspool, and I think it's just Twitter in general. That's the platform and the appeal to the platform. But I'm just tired of people acting like Multiverses is going to completely destroy Brawlhalla in the player base. Like, it's 2 completely different games, targeting 2 completely different audiences. There's no real balance around 1v1 in Multiverses. So, it's a 2v2 game.
Can I also hit you with a small rant since we brought up Twitter? Yeah, I mean, it's Brawlhalla related, honestly.
Go ahead.
But I saw somebody complaining that there are almost as many crossovers as there are characters. Now, part of it, I kind of understood. They pointed out how many legends don't have crossovers, how many do. And I tried to rationalize it like, oh, well, maybe those are like the popular characters that have, multiple. But then there's some that like don't make sense. Like, I think there's like multiple for like Nash. When the fuck was the last time you ran into a Nash? Like, why do they keep giving Nash crossovers? Same thing, like Thatch recently got a crossover. Who the fuck plays Thatch? So that part I get, but also, well, I don't want to get too deep into this, but obviously, they have to be similar to the character they're crossing over. Like, I mean, right. Ryu and Ken being Petra, that only makes sense. Petra is literally based off Petra's either based off Dragon Ball Z or Street Fighter, depending on who you ask. So it only makes sense. And then, like, okay, let's do, we're putting Dalsum in. Let's see, who in Brawlhalla is real stretchy? Oh, Ragnar. Perfect. No, Rayman. Like, a lot of this shit makes sense. So, like, you have to work within the parameters of what the crossover is. But the other thing was people just complaining in general that there's more crossovers than there are new legends being made. Listen, the time and effort, I'm not trying to downplay the time and effort it takes an artist to make a crossover, make the animation, make the art, all that good stuff, because that is a whole animal. Way more talent than I possibly could ever possess. But making an entire character that's not going to break the game or be underwhelming, or on top of that, a brand new weapon, that is a totally different animal than just making a skin for an existing legend.
Well, and it's different departments doing it too, you know?
Yeah,
The same people doing the crossover and art, they're just taking, you know, that template of that character and like, oh, how can we make this fit the crossover character? How can we make this fit with Petra and Kin? You know, how can we make it fit with Rayman and Dalsum? They're not changing the character.
Yeah, and then like the art department can crank out so many artworks in the amount of time that somebody can code, design, playtest a single legend.
Yeah.
So
no, that ties in with that same rant because people just complain that we're not getting new, you know, gameplay content, and it's all like skins and crossovers and colors and whatnot. It's because you have two different people doing it, and like it takes a long time to do the art side of it as well, but it's not as involved as like coding a new weapon.
Also, I'm going to get real close to the camera on this. I'm going to raise my mic up. For you fuckers that are complaining. Actually, I'm going to put my mic back. My mic back down. I saw somebody bitching that the crossover, what is his fucking name? Luke.
Yeah. His
like side sig gauntlet signature, like the hitbox is obviously the same. Because if it was a different hitbox, then it could potentially, you get the pay to win territories. But the animation is like a hair too short. So like if you slow down video, like the animation will like almost touch your character, but hit you on that one signature. And they're like, pay to win. I can't believe this bullshit made it into the... Shut the fuck up.
Isn't it
First of all, how often do you even run into a crossover character? Very rarely. There's more crossovers that I've never ran into in matchmaking than ones that I have. I lied. Because the Street Fighter ones are very popular. But, like, I can't tell you the last time I ran into any of the Hellboy ones. The WWE ones, every time I see that, I think I'm facing a fucking celebrity because they're so fucking rare. Lara Croft, I don't think anyone's ever bought that before. All the Walking Dead ones except... all the Walking Dead ones. Never see them. I bought the Maggie one day one. I've used it like twice. Like, you never see these things. They're not pay to win. Just quit bitching. Okay, the art department made a little mistake with the animation. It doesn't cover the whole hitbox. Trust me, it's not the end of the world. No one's going to start buying nothing but Luke skins so they can hit you with the same cross signature that you've been hit with a million times, but it's going to be a little bit more deceitful because the animation's a little shorter.
The cross... Oh my god, Jesus Christ.
I'm sorry.
The cross one, by default, is actually like a little bit longer than the hitbox. So it's like, you got one shorter than the hitbox and one longer than the hitbox. You're not losing to hitboxes in this game. That's not what you're losing to. I mean, it is what you're losing to, but you're not losing to the animation not matching the hitbox. Anyways, I think you had a bigger rant than I did this week. And you didn't
I'm sorry. I'm just hyped. I'm full of energy today.
I can fucking tell.
Well, sorry. I'm just going to mute my mic now.
So, on to news. Rocks, guess what? You gonna guess?
What?
We had the first LAN event since the pandemic. This last weekend. Actually, it was last night.
I assume it was streamed, right?
It was streamed. So if you want to go back,
unfortunately, I didn't get to watch it, but I do have one question.
go ahead.
Who the fuck is Stargrazer?
Well, Stargrazer is the Combo Breaker 2022 Grand Finals champion for Brawlhalla. That is who Stargrazer is.
That's awesome.
So, I watched a little bit of it. There were 16 people. The top 8 was streamed, and one of the 2 commentators knew nothing about Brawlhalla. But he was a platform fighter player. Like, he commentates all the other platform fighters. The stream was on BTS Smash, Beyond the Summit Smash. So if you want to go back, you can find the VOD. But, Stargrazer, you ready for this?
Yep.
Peak Elo this season, or current Elo, I can't remember which. He's Diamond 1. He's like 2012 Elo.
That's awesome.
Yes. So,
I was expecting to be like he's 9.5 years old.
Maybe. I don't know what he actually looks like. But I did some Elo math on the back end after looking at the top 8. I would have either got 2nd place or 7th place.
That's hilarious. Holy shit.
Yeah, it was... I think the highest Elo I saw out of anyone was like 2100, but they got like 6th place or something like that. They got beat out by someone who was like a Plat 3 or 4, and I'm like, I'm pushing Plat 3 or 4. So
that's awesome. You love to hear it. You love to see it.
I watched a little bit of it, and I'm like, I don't like watching fighting games in general, but when you're watching not the highest level, it's even like less fun to watch. On to the patch, and this is the bulk of the news. It's actually like the only real news item. Have you played since you've obviously played, but have you actually like delved into what the patch affected?
No, I've just been playing like so the day the Street Fighter crossover came out, I bought Dawson, and then like every day since, I've played like maybe a match or 2 just as like a pass the time kind of thing. But I'm not like sat and play. Listen, we just finished a 12-hour stream where we mostly played Brawlhalla. I needed a little bit of a break.
Yeah. The stream was rough, man. Towards the end, I'm like, holy cow, I can't do this.
Just wait till we do a 24-hour stream.
For our 2-year anniversary, I got 1 more year to warm up. So let's get the basics out of the way. Some of the stuff we talked about last podcast. So we got 5 new Street Fighter crossover skins. You said you bought Dhalsim.
Yep.
I've yet to buy any, actually.
Which is a huge shocker.
I know. Actually, it is, because I was very hype about it. But the only time I've played... So I played last night with Mio, and then I played a little bit this morning. Shout out to a dude, Miso Silver Trash, that I ran into. Or Miso Trash Silver, I can't remember exactly. They added me on Steam. We matched up in Street Brawl, and then I got invited to a lobby after beating him, and I'm like, fuck, here we go. He queues up rank 2s, and we run like probably 6 or 7 matches of rank 2s, and lost most of them, but it was a lot of fun.
That's the best.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna buy. I'm definitely buying Sakura.
Gosh, she's so cute. Oh my god, I love her.
Dude, her little Hadouken on the cannon down sig.
Is she single? They got Sakura body pillows.
Probably.
Oh god, you couldn't Google Sakura body pillow. You just get Naruto.
Oh yeah, yeah. Sakura's she's popular, but she's not as a Street Fighter character. Like, you've got to know a little bit about Street Fighter to know who she is. But yeah, definitely buying her. Definitely buying M. Bison, because the M. Bison signatures are so sick. Have you like gone through and looked at all the signatures?
Mm-hmm.
The M. Bison, the hammer neutral sig, the one where Thor just like puts up the hammer, where he just crosses his arms and then laughs. Yep. Oh, dude, it's so hype. It's
The
so
funniest thing about Luke's signatures is the fact that the blaster signatures, only one signature does he use the guns.
I thought that was actually really cool and really creative because it's like they really did a good job of making it feel like Luke would actually do those attacks.
Yeah. It's the down signature that he uses the blasters.
Yeah, is the neutral sig? He just like does like mini Hadoukens in the sky, right?
Yeah, it is awesome. I'm looking at it right now.
It's I might buy Luke. Definitely M. Bison and Sakura. Maybe Ken. I don't know yet. Don't know yet.
Who wins in a fight, Luke or Johnny Cage?
Oh, Luke for sure. Johnny Cage is fucking whack, dude. He's funny, but he can't fucking fight. That was a good question, actually. The new Street Brawl map, Bustling Side Street. Have you played that yet?
Yeah. I like it better than regular Street Brawl.
Really?
Yeah, I like it a lot. I love when maps change around, other than when it's literally just soft platforms that move. Ugh.
Yeah. I like it, but I don't like it on 3 stock because if you get too close to the edge, you can lose a whole stock just to one side light.
Yeah, I do see. I have had that happen a couple times.
And it's not.
But to that, I just say get good. You know what I'm saying?
No, I agree. But like, okay, let's say they jump out of my cannon side air, that would have knocked them out, and they do like a reverse side light, and now I get knocked out because, you know, it's my fault. I'll admit, but
because you got red.
It doesn't feel good. No, they got lucky. I didn't get red. That's a rant for another week. Reading versus reacting. And then also alluding to that map, the Brawl of the Week is Street Brawl. So very happy to see that back because that was one of my favorite game modes. And I haven't played it as much as I want to, but I'm going to get some time in on it for sure.
I do have one complaint about the Dhalsim skin.
Ooh, okay.
So I remember whenever I was a kid, and I would play this stupid game called Street Fighter, that whenever I would anger my older sister by playing the Stretchy Boy himself, she would then mirror match me as the Stretchy Boy. And I thought it was so cool because his skin would turn gray and his shorts would turn green and his markings would turn orange or yellow or whatever.
Okay.
I know where you're going. I am so fucking pissed that they Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson to this shit. Oh, if you know, you know. If you know, you know.
I know what you mean.
If you don't know, if you look up Dhalsim alternate color, I mean, just Google that shit, and you see a bunch of different multicolor rainbow Dhalsims. And some of these are so nostalgic. The ash gray with the purple and the like light blue. It looks like a fucking Wildberry Pop-Tart. Oof. Yeah. Nostalgia right there, boys.
You know, that's probably a big missed opportunity on a lot of the characters.
Yeah. Now, don't get me wrong. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson only his little underwear changing colors. I get it. But Dhalsim, it is established that man is multicolored. If I want to play gray Dhalsim, if I want to play mustard yellow with bread, let's go.
They should have done that different because like they made the turtles turn slightly different colors, you know, when you pick different colors. So yeah, they should have done that. They should have done that a little bit different. I was actually on the opposite side of that originally. I'm like, oh, I'm glad they kept his skin tone the same. But then after you explained it, I'm like, you know what? It wasn't ever the same whenever he had alternate colors in Street Fighter. So
yeah, and it's just like it just not a whole lot changes on him. Like the stripes on his head, that's about it. And it's just kind of like, oh,
yeah,
well.
his shorts color and. Anyways, all right.
Oh, also huge missed opportunity. I'm so sorry for interrupting you like 80 times this podcast.
Yeah.
But also the fact that you whip out. So let's say hypothetically you're playing like Switchcraft or Switchcraft, and you're playing any character. and you get one of Rayman's weapons, and you hit the basketball emote. You rip your fucking rib cage off, and you bounce it between your legs, no matter what legend you're using. It is hilarious.
That's amazing.
Yes. You never got the basketball thing, did you?
No.
All right, well, stop being a wuss. Buy it when you buy all the Street Fighter stuff. Play Switchcraft. And then switch between the... whenever you get a Ray-Ban weapon, just hit it. You just rip your torso off and you bounce it. And it's the funniest shit I've ever seen. But you know what happens when you do it on Dawson? You just pull out a fucking basketball. What the fuck? Yeah. I wanted to rip my rib cage out. Let me use that shit as a basketball.
That's weird. That's really weird.
I know.
Because you would think they tied it to the signatures.
And you know what's funny? Technically, Dalsum is the only legend you cannot get to rip his own rib cage off. because you can't put Rayman and a Rayman crossover in Switchcraft.
Right.
Shake my damn head. Missed opportunity.
Well, that's because he's so stretchy that he realizes it's futile to try to rip his body off. So,
I'm uninstalling.
He should just like jump rope with his like limb instead. Okay, so that's the new content for this patch. Now let's get into some of the other stuff, because this was hardly a balance patch as much as it was a let's just fuck with everything that doesn't need to be fucked with patch.
Okay,
actually, that's the theme of the whole patch. Even the balance was let's fuck with stuff that doesn't need to be fucked with.
Okay.
All right.
I'm listening.
Easy anti-cheat, now required in ranked and tournament modes.
I had no idea you could turn it off.
Yeah, you could go into Steam options and type in -no EAC. And I think the thing that people had issue with, and I agree that it was actually happening, is like you would have minor stutters, not like rollbacks, but your character would like stutter. And it wasn't frequent, but it was enough to be annoying. Allegedly, that's no longer happening. Whether or not that's
allegedly
true, I don't know. And then you're still allowed to modify the map backgrounds, and it won't trigger the easy anti-cheat. So that's...
Can you do like character mods?
That I don't know, and I don't think so, because I don't know why I don't think so. I don't know if they ever mentioned that actually. But I would guess since it affects the character, you could technically use that to make, a character easier to spot or a signature easier to spot based on the file that was modified. So I'm going to go with no, and that's just a guess. It's a little annoying because I had anti-cheat off and like the game boots up way faster. Obviously, I didn't deal with any of the stuttering that was prevalent, but like I said, I don't know if that exists anymore. Now, you can still play with -no EAC test feature on if you're playing like experimental or free-for-all or friendly queues. Just ranked and tournament queues, you have to have it on now. The test features.
So I'm trying to wrap my head around this one. This is why I've been quiet for like the past 30 seconds. So like if you're out of jumps, and you try to jump, it automatically does recovery.
Correct. So you have, right now you have 3 jumps in a recovery by default, right? So if you press jump 3 times and then press it a 4th, nothing happens.
Mm-hmm.
With this test feature, which is actually a by default, it's automatically on, but it's only in the test modes. If you were to press jump 3 times, do your 3 jumps, and then press it a 4th time, you would burn recovery if you had it available.
As long as it remains toggleable, as long as you can toggle it on and off, you can. I don't see a problem with that. As long as you can toggle it.
What are they trying to solve with it?
I would assume like newbie players, whenever they don't a lot of people, like even in like gold, like they don't really count their jumps or like have a good feel for when they're out of jumps. And then like, oh shit, I'm out of jumps. And then you take a split second to try to recover it and it doesn't hit. Like you don't hit it in time to hit the side of the stage, I guess. I mean, I don't know. As long as it's as long as you toggle it.
Yeah, and that's fine. I guess if you're out of jumps and you burn a recovery and you get stuffed on the recovery, like you're not recovering anyways. So I guess it's not the worst thing. Speaking of being out of jumps, there's also, and I didn't even realize this, they removed this. There was apparently a slight tint to your character when you were out of jumps.
You never noticed that?
No.
Okay, so your character, it's like you went, like if you took the character in Photoshop, threw just a paint bucket tool, just black over top of it, and dropped the black layer opacity down to like 25%, it was just like your character got like a little shadowy. Really? Photoshoppers out there, you'll totally get what I'm saying. It makes complete sense. But yeah, you would just get a little bit darker when you're out of jumps. But here's the thing. I almost never, I knew it was there. I've known it was there for probably a year, probably more than that. But I never really noticed it, except on myself maybe, occasionally. It's weird that they removed it though, unless maybe they were just like, nobody uses this. Like nobody even can tell.
So Foda talked a bit about it at the, mid-season micros or whatever they're doing, the money match thing. Apparently, like, they just thought, no one really cared about it, but people obviously do because I've seen people complain about it. And so they're looking at either re-implementing it as is or, like, making it an actual feature as opposed to being, like, just something that is there, Mm-hmm. Kind of like they did with the sweat.
Reworking it a little bit.
Because you can't, like, on certain colors, allegedly you can't see it. Now, I couldn't see it on any color because I clearly did not know that it was a thing. Mm-hmm. But they're looking at, like, either rolling it back or just making it something more obvious, like the sweat beads.
I thought that's what the point of the sweat beads were.
Sweat beads is when you're out of all options. So you technically had two different indications. You had an indication for when you're out of jumps, and then you had an indication when you're out of all options.
What about when you're out of jumps, it's just like one big sweat bead that goes straight down, or a couple sweat beads that go straight down, and then if you're out of everything, the sweat beads like almost feel like an umbrella effect. Go like they're going off your body. You know what I'm saying? Like how it is now.
Yeah. What if it just changes where the sweat beads come from? Like on your head if you're out of jumps, and then out of the groin area if you're out of everything.
Yes, perfect. So updated cooldown on dodge?
Yeah, so I can't even keep track of where these dodge cooldowns like test features are. So on live build, non-experimental, I believe it's still your ground and your air are different, right? Like your ground and air are different, but if you dodge to the ground, it resets to the ground cooldown.
Yeah.
So in experimental, previously it was like you had one dodge window for both grounded and air. Mm-hmm. And it was somewhere in between the two. So now they've made them separate, but it doesn't change when you land. So ground and chase dodges have a 1 second cooldown, and air dodges have a 2 second cooldown, but if you land with it, it doesn't lower it. So it's not like variable like it used to be, or is currently.
I gotcha.
So I don't know. We'll see how it plays out. I think they'll eventually find the sweet spot. Hopefully sooner rather than later, because I really like the direction experimental's going right now. Mm-hmm. I just want them to actually pull the trigger and implement something.
I gotcha. Yeah.
So, Rocks.
Yeah.
The big disappointment. You ready?
Why the fuck? So, I'm trying to think of a really stupid fucking analogy that I could use for this. Let's say hypothetically, you run a burger joint, right?
Wait, hold on.
Run a burger joint.
This isn't the first burger joint analogy you've used.
Are you serious? You
used one a long time ago. Like episode 2 or 3.
All right, you run a pizza joint. All right?
Okay.
You got your basic ass supreme, you got your pepperoni, and you got your meat lovers. And then occasionally you make a cheese pizza for those fucking degens that eat cheese pizzas. And then suddenly, you're not suddenly. You're just not very popular because your pizzas are fucking ass, right?
Okay.
And then you remove those pizzas and you start making all these random pizzas. I've already fucked this analogy up. All your pizzas suck. You just started this restaurant. But then you make one pizza and it's, oh my God, it's a Philly cheesesteak pizza. Got that little bit of like Alfredo sauce on it instead of regular pizza sauce. And it's so fucking good, right? It's delicious. It's better than any pizza you've ever made in your life. And then you're just like, man, this is really popular. And like nobody's been eating all the other pizzas we've been making for the past year and a half. Let's stop making this pizza. Let's shit on this pizza. Let's remove the shredded beef off the top of this Philly cheesesteak pizza. Replace it with pure human defecation. And see what happens.
I don't think that's quite... I get the analogy. They may have just
that was a stretch.
They may have just changed the type of meat, or they're like, you know what? Why do we have one pizza that has really premium ingredients? Let's take this back a notch, you know? Yeah, so Arcadia is the best pizza we've had since Yumiko, so why don't we neuter her? So, yeah.
I didn't like that phrase. Let's neuter her. Ugh. Ugh.
Let's
neuter that legend.
You're right. That's not appropriate, Rox.
I just don't understand why. Like, it's not like she was busted.
Here's the whole reason for it. Because if we go into the first LAN event since 2019, the first BMG LAN event, because Combo Breaker got your number, BMG, and they took the first LAN event from you. You go into the first BMG official LAN event, mid-season championships, and fucking Sandstorm comes back and just runs house with Arcadia.
What's the problem? Sandstorm's back.
I don't see a problem. She's not strong
Listen.
enough that she's going to carry someone to first place in mid-season. She's just not. So they nerfed her neutral spear and her side spear signatures. Neutral spear, they increased the total recovery time on miss and decreased the force. I think one of those is appropriate. Both of them together is not appropriate.
The force, maybe, I would say.
It hit pretty hard, but it's not like it was... It's not like it recovered too fast. I mean, it was still pretty punishable.
Oh, yeah. Very punishable.
So, like, yeah, just nerf the force. Leave the recovery the same. It's fine.
Also, I have... Gosh, I'm sorry. I got to do it. I got to go off on a tangent real quick.
Lord, here we
So,
go.
again, it's kind of off topic. So, first, you'll understand... Once I get to the second part, you'll understand why I went off on this tangent. But just funny thing. Also, my boys, girls, theys, whoever is in sales that might listen to this, you'll understand the scourge that is GroupMe. So, any sales career out there, bosses, managers just love making group chats in this fucking app called GroupMe, right? And in my scenario, it's literally only used for PSAs from the owners every once in a while, but mostly... it is required for you every time you make a sale to post it in the group chat. You know, flex on all the boys and gals in the on the Salesforce, or just maybe hype people up, right? So there's this guy named Jose, and he made a big sale, and I texted into the group, "Let's go, Jose," and I tagged him. It's like at Jose, and yes, I'm making up Jose. Like, that's not his actual name. And I don't talk to any of these people. I'm very lucky to work in a sales that is out of the office, and I see these people maybe once a month. It's fantastic. Love my job. But instead of go, my phone, for some reason, changes it to let's DP at Jose.
What?
Yes, but... the message failed to send. I was in 5G ultra connectivity range for T-Mobile. I don't know why it didn't send, but thank you, whatever God stopped that message from going out. And for those who don't know what DP is, Google it.
It's
but
Dragon
anyway,
Punch.
Dragon Punch.
It's the move that Ken and Ryu do.
Dragon Punch. So another thing, one of the products we have, one of the colors is called Sandstorm. Somebody posted in the group chat. Does anybody have a good photo of Sandstorm?
Oh no!
Do you know how much energy it took for me to not? I was like, how many like tens of likes do you think I might be able to get on Twitter if I post a picture of Sandstorm in this work group chat, and then everyone be like, "What the fuck is going on with this guy? What? Who is this guy,
dude?"
Do we need to drug test Rocks? Like, do we need to drug test this kid? Just so I could, like, take a screenshot and post it on Twitter. But it took everything in me not to post it.
You should have, man. That would have been great.
That is the end of my tangent. I do apologize.
Well, when Sandstorm comes back to mid-seasons and wins with Arcady, you're going to wish you did. Side Spear also got nerfed and decreased force from 50-50 fixed variable to 50-47 fixed variable. I'm okay with that. That signature was strong. Mm-hmm. Okay, the really weird one, the really weird patch note that boggles my mind.
I know.
Go ahead, Roxy. You like audio stuff. Go ahead. Tell me what they did.
So I'm a big audio guy, right? Big audio guy. I don't hear it. I don't hear a difference. Like, I hear a slight difference.
Hear a difference?
Here's the thing. So Boomy posted a video on Twitter that was just like hammer weapon tosses and picking the weapon back up and like a couple little hits here and there. And I was like, oh my God, this sounds awful. And then I got into my game and I was like,
oh, it's not that
I don't like it. Yeah, it's like, it's crispier in a bad way.
Yeah,
it's less bassy. It's a lot less bassy. And then before we started recording this, I was playing a couple matches and I had the show notes up and I was just kind of breezing through them so I knew what we were going to be talking about. And like where I've got a hat on, like so my headset, and this is going to be real awkward for me because now I'm talking without my headset on. I really hate that transition, but everyone knows how fucking headset works. It cups your fucking ears, and the hat was making it like uncup a little bit in the back. You know what I'm saying? So where like it's not a perfect seal. I feel like I'm talking out of my fucking ass. You guys know what I'm talking about. Like just raise your headset up a little bit like this, and now nothing sounds right. Turns out that's what it was because I was playing. I was like, oh shit, I hear it now. And then I realized I just didn't have my headset on all the way. And then I was like, I really can't hear much of a difference. What they did do, though, which I don't see anybody talking about, is fix the fact that on PC, you can only have your volume on game volume and the music set to 1 notch, or else you will blow your eardrums out. They fixed it.
Oh, really?
You can actually adjust it.
What I noticed is, for whatever reason, so like, I'm 0 music volume, obviously, because fuck the music, and I'm 10 on the sound effects. When I booted up, it was at like 18 and 18. I'm like, you can't even fucking set it to that. How did it get to 18?
Mine's at like 27, 27.
But
you go on.
If you try to change it, it goes back to increments of 10, right?
I don't think it did.
I'd have to go back. I think mine did.
Well, the thing maybe my complaint is unwarranted if you're playing on 10, but like if I've got Spotify thrown up and I've got it cranked all the way up and I've got my PC volume cranked all the way up, it is loud. It is too loud. It will damage your eardrums. It's going to be kind of like this volume right here that I'm talking, and then in comparative, if you go, like, in comparative, that's not even a fucking word, 1 notch over, like, if you go to 2 notches on Brawlhalla game sound, and same settings and everything, Spotify is going to sound like how I'm talking right now, but your game volume is going to be like, BAH! Like, it is so loud, dude. Holy shit.
If you're above 10.
No, if you're above 1.
If you're above 1.
Am I the only one that had this problem?
Maybe. as soon as I booted up Brawlhalla the first time, I'm like, music volume to 0, sound effects to minimum, and never look back.
I can't believe you. And the crazy thing is you don't even listen to other music. Like, I would get it if you're turning game music off to listen to, like, I don't know, Bieber or some shit.
Okay,
but
to be fair,
you just sit there in silence.
No, okay. When I'm not playing with you, I do have, or like when I'm not playing with someone that I'm like talking to, I do have my records going on in the background. Not Spotify. I'm listening to vinyl records when I game.
Hold on. When you said records, I was like, he must just mean like. And then I thought about, do you actually have a record player that you use?
Yeah, I'll post a picture after this. I got a pretty sick setup, dude. It's not next to me, like it's around the corner, but
I can't believe this shit. What is the last record you listened to? What is on the record player right now?
I'd have to go look, but I think it's Kendrick Lamar.
I don't know if that makes it better or worse that you're listening to very modern music on the record player.
Okay, so, and we're going completely off topic.
I was expecting you to be like, Pink Floyd, The Wall, and then I was really going to judge you, but I don't know if it made it better or worse, the fact that you said Kendrick Lamar.
So, and this is another tangent, here's why I enjoy it, okay? One, digging for records is insanely fun. Like, going to a record shop and, like, going through it and finding, like, maybe some artist you forgot about, or you're like, oh, this is a good deal for this record. Like, that's really fun. The other thing is it's like, I can just, like, I don't have to shut it off. Like, it stops playing by itself. So, whenever the record or the side of the record is done, I can choose. I have to physically go get up. Do I want to keep listening to music or not? It's like, I gotta make a decision.
I can't believe this shit. I can't believe this shit. You are so crazy. You are built different, and I don't mean that in a good way. I don't mean it in a bad way either. You're just built different.
Okay, so, Rox, this is I imagined this episode being way more cohesive than it was.
Do you use like over the head earphones for like when you go to the gym? Like, you don't use pods. You like have a fucking Beats headset plugged into a.
I don't go to the gym. I have like workout equipment at home, and I have like speakers for that. You know.
Of course you do. Are they hooked in? Are they hooked into the record player?
Funny enough, they're Bluetooth speakers. So, and it's a Bluetooth record player. So.
Oh my God, you are shitting me.
No. So I actually hate it. Like, when I'm working out, I just want to listen to music on my phone. But for whatever reason, the record player always overrides my phone's connection. And then it will play whatever record's, playing in the other room. But when I'm actually working out, then, like, I actually have to go unplug the record player and then reconnect my Bluetooth. It's pretty annoying. But other than that, records are awesome. Highly recommend.
I have one record. It's actually, I bought it. So, big All Time Low fan. I'm just a big music guy in general. But All Time Low, I saw in, many of you will probably recognize them from the song Dear Maria, Count Me In. They produce nothing but bangers. But it's their Future Hearts album, which came out in like 2011, 2012. And I just bought it at like an FYE. Didn't have a record player. Have never owned a record player. And in every room I have ever been in since then, I just tack it to the wall above my door.
Really?
Yeah, I'm gonna regret doing this because I'm gonna fuck my camera up. But I'm gonna try to.
Lord.
Let me aim it over there. Yeah, right there it is. Just so hanging above the door.
Records are actually pretty fucking cool artwork, man. Like, just in general. Like,
yeah, this one's like sky blue.
Hey, my record art above my computer is sky blue. Ooh. I have the Pocket Rumble vinyl. It's one of my favorite fighting games. But anywho, back to Brawlhalla.
I just punched my microphone.
The topic of the podcast. So, my whole vision for this episode was the cohesive nature, and it's been anything but that. So I started off the Doomsayers rant, people saying Brawlhalla's dead if the devs don't do anything, the game sucks now, and then I'm like, you know what? they had a swing and a miss on this patch. They tried something, they dropped the ball. And I'll admit, this patch wasn't great.
It's the end of the world.
Not BMG's best work, but it's not the end of the world. So, Rox, and we actually made the executive decision before this because we knew we would be at 1 hour before we got to the topic of the podcast. We're breaking this into 2 different sections. So part 1 is going to be this podcast. Part 2 is going to be episode 29, and then hopefully episode 30 we actually have a good guest. But we are going to rank...
Are you saying Kostlix wasn't a good guest, bro?
No, I wasn't saying that. Like, I'm saying, we're running out of options. Next thing you know, we're going to be scraping bottom of the barrel, getting some has-been on here.
Yeah, like some guy named that goes with like 39 Mio or some shit.
I wouldn't mind having a couple of like our esteemed colleagues.
We should have one that's just like 5 people out of the Discord, just crammed into one voice call.
Oh my god! Didn't you try that before on some other podcast?
Well, it wasn't random people. It was a very dedicated 5 people that all wanted to be part of a podcast. And then whenever I bought one of them a $200 mic out of the goodness of my goddamn heart, and then everyone got... well, no, he didn't leave the Discord. Just all bitches. Weak bitches. No dedication. No heart.
All right, so...
Little did they know, a year later, they could have also had 100 subs on YouTube, almost.
93.
So one last thing. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I love you. I love you so much. I'm so sorry. I feel like you need to, since we got cams on, you need to show people your trophies that you won during the stream.
Oh, let's say that for the outro.
Okay. All right.
So this topic of the podcast, I want to rank the different years of Brawlhalla. So originally we were going to go through all of them and rank them. Now we're going to go through each year and give it a rating, 1 through 10, and then we'll add up our ratings, and then we'll not rank them, but see who got first place and who got 5th place, or what year got first place and 5th place. So this episode, we're going to talk about 2017 through 2019, and then next episode will be 2020 through 2022. And the first year was 2017 for the official release, but I lumped that in with the 2018 year because it came out in October, so I'm like, it ends up being, 14 months instead of 12. So it might have a slight advantage, but whatever. All right, so I've put together some notes here about what happened in these different years, including new legends, new weapons, who won the 1v1 North America BCX Championship, new events, new crossovers, and just some highlights from the year that I pulled from the different Brawlhalla news articles.
Okay.
So 1 through 10 rocks, and we'll talk about these different aspects of the years. Hit me with what 2017, the official release, and 2018 brought us.
So when it comes to the new legends, we got Sidra, Zol, Kaya, Isaiah, Jero, Linfei, Zariel, Rayman, and Dusk. Oh wait, was I supposed to do just 17?
No, it's okay. It's okay. So Sidra and
17
Zol,
was Sidra and Zol.
Yeah.
And then the rest were in 18.
Right. So Sidra and Zol, I think Sidra came out at the same time as release of the official game. And like Brawlhalla has been around since 2014. I wanted to focus on official release and forward.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a total of like 9 champions or 9 legends in a year, or a year and 2 months. Plus, let's see, in just 2018 alone was 7 legends.
Yep, and then also you get Orb and Cannon back to back.
Yeah, so Cannon came out at release, so October of 2017, and then Orb came out with Dusk in late 2018. I think it was November, but I don't have that written down. So we got 2 new weapons, 9 legends, and yeah, I mean, I think that was, and I don't know before that. I don't know when the last weapon to come out was. It was probably Scythe, right?
Probably. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Either Scythe or Gauntlet. Scythe.
I think it was Scythe.
Was Core before Scythe?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because first Scythe was Mirage. Right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know how long of a, I guess, delay there was between Scythe and Canon, but I'd imagine it was relatively significant.
And as far as I almost want to just go straight into the rating because of this, but 1v1 in a BCX champion for 2017 was LDZ, and then 2018 was the first coming of Sandstorm. And then new events, Luck of the Brawl, and that's one of my favorite events because it's got one of my favorite colors. My favorite type of colors. Not one of my favorite colors, my favorite type of colors. One that looks like dog shit on 99% of skins, but when you get one that looks good,
when you have
top tier.
A skin with a lot of gold on it, it's godlike.
Rayman with the armor.
Yep.
Sheesh. And then new crossover, Shovel Knight, and then Rayman. I'm going to have to deduct a couple of points because Rayman himself, they should have just made a really good Gauntlet Axe Legend and then made Rayman a crossover.
Yep.
Listen, Dawson is not the full remedy. It's a treatment, not a cure, right?
Some reparations, you know? A little bit of repayment.
Shovel Knight, I would say it's a pretty damn good crossover, especially for the time that it came out, because Shovel Knight was still pretty popular. And again, with a lot of the crossovers, I just happen to not be a big fan of that certain thing. Yeah. Doesn't mean there's not a huge fan base and a lot of people that appreciate it. Shovel Knight crossovers are probably the ones that I run into the most. Specifically, the Black Knight. And then Rayman crossovers, I run into the Black Knight all the time because that's not Artemis, Orion crossover.
Right.
I run into it all the time.
I really don't.
That's crazy.
I was trying to think of how relevant these crossovers were because I'm trying to look at it more objectively as opposed to subjectively, but it's kind of hard because like Shovel Knight, it's cool. I've never played the game, but people like it, you know. So yeah, Shovel Knight, take it or leave it. I don't think it's that impactful to the game, and I don't think it brought people to the game. You know, people didn't see Shovel Knight and be like, "I'm gonna try this game out." It was you had people that played Shovel Knight. They're like, "Oh, cool! I can play Shovel Knight in Brawlhalla now." And then Rayman's kind of the same thing, you know. But like you said, I wish they would have just doubled down, make a Gauntlet Axe Legend, and then immediately drop a crossover for it.
And then highlights released on Mac, Windows, and PlayStation. BMG joins Ubisoft, which a little bit of compassion there. Imagine being a little indie dev that gets bought out by Ubisoft or joins. That's going to be a hype day. And then Brawlhalla released on Xbox and Switch. Huge points there because if it never came out on Switch, your boy would not be sitting here recording a podcast. So if you want to hit us with 2019, that wraps up 2017 plus 2018.
What's funny is you that Switch release. I also have something on one of the later years that's that's why I started playing the game. So
okay.
Well, you want to drop a rating for 2017 and 2018 first?
So humble beginnings, tons of legends, 2 weapons, the birth of Sandstorm, Luck of the Brawl. The only thing that I have to ding him on is just the whole Rayman debacle. Biggest letdown of my entire fucking life, if I'm being honest. I'm gonna give it a solid. Can we do points?
No, we're doing
X point. Fuck. Okay. Not even a half. Not even a half.
We'll allow halves. We'll do halves. Because I think if we don't do halves, we're gonna get into a situation where there's.
You know what? 7.5 isn't enough. I'm giving it an 8.
Really?
Yeah, indie dev joins Ubisoft. That's huge. Comes out on Switch. Wouldn't be here recording a podcast if it never did. Birth of Sandstorm. We got Zariel. We got Dusk. We got Oh no, Jiro came out. Oof. 7.5. 7.5.
7.5.
Yeah, it's getting at 7.5.
All right, I'm taking notes here just so I don't have to go back and listen to our voices just to find out what we voted. So you're going
how terrible.
7.5. All right.
Yep.
And after you started talking about it, I'm like, I was going towards 7.5 as well. But I got to look at, and I'm going back to subjective here. If 2017, 2018 didn't happen, I wouldn't have had Lin Bei or Isaiah. Or Dusk, for that matter. I've been playing a lot of Dusk recently. I wouldn't have Cannon or Orb, which are like two of my main weapons right now. Sandstorm, I actually don't like what you've done for the community.
I just realized my mic was muted just for a second. But yes, I agree.
Yes.
I've been agreeing.
Sandstorm, what you've done as a player is phenomenal, but you've made 80% of the player base Fenrir Mordex players. So for that, I have to knock you.
I need him to come back, swear off Scythe, be like, whoever plays Scythe, your mom's a hoe, and then retire again.
So I was originally going to go with a 7, but I'm going to also go with a 7.5.
All right.
Because I got Cannon and Orb out of it. So objectively a 7, but subjectively I'm going to go 7.5. All right. 2019. You ready for this, Rox?
Yep.
New Legends. We got Fate, Thor, Petra, Volkov, and Vector. Wait, did I say Vector twice? Fate, Thor, Petra, Vector, Volkov. So 5 new Legends. No new weapons in 2019. BCX champion. What do you know? Sandstorm. No new events. But new crossovers. And so for the crossovers, I didn't include parts 1 and 2. It was just the initial release of like when it came.
Yeah.
So Hellboy, Adventure Time, WWE, and Steven Universe. And for highlight, you ready for this? Yep. All platform crossplay went live.
That is huge.
That alone. So after I like compiled my notes, I go back to look at this 2019 year and I'm like, is that all I can come up with for 2019 highlights? Like, is that the only thing that really happened that was big? And I'm like, I don't need anything else. That's huge. So I know you're not privy to like what's going on in the fighting game world as a whole, but there was a big push for rollback netcode at the beginning of the pandemic. Everyone's like, no rollback, no buy. You know, if a new game comes out, it doesn't have a rollback, not buying it.
Mm-hmm.
Now crossplay is that, not quite that, but it's starting to become on the forefront. They're like, if there's no crossplay, you know, shame on you. Like, figure out how to get crossplay in the game. So big points on that one. That's a huge one for me. What do you think of the Legends?
So you had me at Fate, Thor, and Petra, but if it would have stopped at Fate, Thor, and Petra, and even with no new weapon, no new event, and the crossovers and crossplay, I would have 10 out of 10 maybe. But then you gave us Vector, Orion 2.0. I have still yet to play a Vector that isn't literally just some kid spamming signatures, which I win every time. Don't get me wrong. I never lose to Vectors. It's just annoying as fuck. And then Volkov has recently went from like, man, this legend is ass. How did they fuck up an Axe Scythe Legend? Those are like the two most intimidating weapons in the game. To like, I'm starting to run into Volkov players where like, it's not like, I don't know if you've noticed this. Like when I play Gauntlets, I tend to get a little spammy with the signatures. When I play Axe though, it's mostly just light attacks. I do crutch side air a lot, but when I'm going up against a Volkov, I always beat their ass in the light attack department. But it's those wonky ass fucking signatures that don't make any sense that you accidentally run into. Vector has the same problem. You accidentally run into him because you're like, why is this signature still active? He cast that shit 30 seconds ago on the other side of the map. So those two right there, drop this all the way.
Wow. You got
to a
Petra?
6. To a 6.
6? You got
Yes.
Petra and you're calling it a 6?
Yep.
So,
Calling it 6.
as far
Petra's all 6 of those points, dog. I don't think you understand.
fucking cross-play all platforms.
Yep, giving it a 6.
Holy shit.
And the fact that I'm re-looking at 17 and 18 and I gave that a 7.5, I would have maybe given this a 7, but the fact that it would only make it half a point away from the previous one, absolutely not. A 6. Whatever 2017, 2018 is, it's a 1.5 lower.
Okay, man.
Also, no new events, no weapon. Come on, get out of here. Out the door.
Yeah, the no new events or no weapon kind of make it very lackluster. I think a lot of their focus was on making sure the cross-play all platform was smooth.
Mm-hmm.
But man, dude, 4 crossovers. Like, big crossovers. Well, Hellboy.
Yeah, I will say that.
Hellboy's take it or leave it, but like Adventure Time and Steven Universe are huge crossovers.
Yeah, Hellboy was just a marketing thing.
Yeah.
Because that new Hellboy movie came out, which I've still not seen. No
Yep.
thanks to Brawlhalla.
No thanks to Brawlhalla. But WWE is a massive one. Like, WWE is so particular about their IP and like how they're portrayed. And Xavier Woods probably helped with that a little bit, and pushing for that. But dude, you had some massive crossovers.
Yeah, well, I mean, like, and then another thing, like, with the crossovers, they don't necessarily appeal to me, so my rating is a little biased. I do recognize that Adventure Time Steven Universe, wildly popular and pretty popular skins that you run into. Everybody's heard of it. Most people like it. If they say, yeah, I've heard about that, then they've probably watched it. They're probably a fan. Hellboy, if it wasn't based on a allegedly dookie movie, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
And then, like, WWE, I didn't start respecting until I met somebody in real life that actually liked it. I wouldn't even say met in real life, just the human being that actually liked WWE.
So
you're the reason that I respect it a little bit.
Excellent. That means you have some respect for me. So I think the crossovers, comparatively to the previous years, Shovel Knight and Rayman didn't bring in anyone. I think that Adventure Time, WWE, and Steven Universe probably influenced some people to at least try the game out.
Oh, for sure.
So, and for those reasons, and plus the crossplay, I'm gonna go with 7. So half a point lower than what I had ranked. You went a 1.5 lower. You said what? 6, and I went with 7.
Yep, 6, 7. All right.
All right, so that leaves us with 2020, 2021, and whatever part of 2022 we have. And so for 2022, I don't know that we'll do a ranking per se. I think we'll predict where it will end up with respect to the rest of them. So we'll save that for episode 29. All right, Rex, since you asked for it. Although the lighting is not great right now, but I will show them. So, Rox, if you did not tune into the 12-hour anniversary charity stream, Rox sent me a gift that I opened up. And there were 2 gifts within it. For those that don't know, we finished Showdowns. And, Rox, would you like to reveal what happened?
I lost the 1v1s, but came victorious in the drips.
We knew that aspect of it about halfway into it. But yeah, the drips, I was none too hopeful on those. I will be quite honest. I can't relate to the Zoomers that play this game.
You were pretty close. It was closer than I thought it was.
Really?
I only beat you by like 8, but there were a lot of weeks where I won double points.
Oh, from winning all 3?
Yeah.
Yeah, and
which is why you absolutely stomped me. It would have been closer, and I probably would, like, listen, once it was pretty much clear that I'd lost because that stupid fucking rule that my dumbass came up with, I stopped. I wouldn't say I stopped caring, but, like, as I was playing, I was like, all right, how can I meme this a little bit? How could I edit this to be funny instead of trying to, like, sweat and win? Not saying that I would have won if I tried harder, because, like, in the last, like, 6 months alone, you've just, I don't know, stuck some sort of performance-enhancing drug up your ass and got quite a bit better. But yeah. Anyway, go on. Trophies.
So I think moving forward, when we do like supplemental showdown episodes, I think we make it to where, and I don't know how that's going to pan out as far as like content creation goes, but I think we make it to where like the drip, we do maintain a double point for the drip, because like that's kind of not luck necessarily, but it's like I can get lucky on some of them, or you know, you can get lucky just by who looked at it and voted on it, right? Whereas the playing, we'll just make that straight up, because it's like if I do end up sweeping you, it's like not really fair. All right. So speaking of drip, Rock sent me this trophy right here. It is a baby on a little ruby, and it says Spank Cakes Drip Contest, literal last place. And he's not wrong. It is literal last place. Second place out of 2 is literal last place. But man, this other trophy, we got the golden boxing glove, baby. Sergeant Spank Cakes, 1v1 champion of the Gravity Cancel Showdowns. Woo! And
it's beautiful.
I'm contemplating taking these to work and putting them on my desk.
You absolutely should. Oh my god.
No one ever walks by my desk, but it would be really funny because I'll have 2 weird trophies. I have Brawlhalla pins up on my little board, and then I have a bunch of Union propaganda.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, it'll be the most obscure desk of all time. Rox, do you have any ideas for our 30th anniversary? Or 30th anniversary?
30th anniversary. Jesus.
Holy shit.
30th episode?
30th episode, yes.
I don't. But I will, of course, be making a fake trailer for whoever we decide to be the next guest. Posting it on their socials, and hopefully they will respond. It worked with Costlix, it worked with Sparky. So
if they don't, are we just going to search for someone, or do we do the not-so-special guest episode where you and I ask each other questions?
I don't know. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. It's still on the down low. Can I outro this in a really weird way?
Oh, go for it. This whole episode's been really weird, Rox.
You ever watch Camp Lazlo as a kid?
No, I didn't actually. Camp Lazlo?
Right. Yeah, Camp Lazlo. I'm going to post in general.
But
I'm going to post a picture of Camp Lazlo in the general chat in Discord.
No, that was beyond my time, man.
So it was goofy. It was funny. It was around the same time as like Flapjack. This was the beginnings of stuff like Adventure Time. This is right before then. But it was just exactly what you'd imagine. A bunch of kids that happen to be animals at this camp. Well, they have this guy who is a scoutmaster, right? And he's a moose. So, and I'll post a picture of him. So he is the scoutmaster. And his whole gimmick throughout the whole series is that he hates doing laundry.
Right.
And then on the very last episode of the show, he just hates doing laundry. So he what he does is he accidentally steps into a paint bucket can. And he realizes that it looks like a sock. And he goes, I'll just paint all my clothes on. And I'll never have to do laundry again. So he paints all of his clothes on. And I can't remember if he convinces everyone else to do the same, but he does it. And at the end of the episode, a cop shows up, and it had rained. It just rained, and now he was completely naked and surrounded by all these kids. Turns out he wasn't the actual scoutmaster all along. He was an escaped insane asylum patient.
Okay.
And this guy steps out of the cop car. And that's the real camp counselor that was supposed to be in the show the entire time.
Okay.
Do you know who that is?
That's from Rocko's Modern
That is
Life.
Yes, that is Heifer Wolf from Rocko's Modern Life. That's the end of a children's cartoon.
What?
What the fuck? Also, do you know anything about dinosaurs?
Where's
Do you remember the show Dinosaurs?
Yeah, okay.
Do you remember the last episode of that?
No.
It was the fucking apocalypse, dude.
Okay.
Like it was like, you know, they lived in the modern day or whatever, but they lived on Pangea and they were dinosaurs. But the last episode is like, so there was this like invasive species of plants and or something that showed up every year, and to get rid of it, they dumped poison all over the continent, all over the world. Well, guess what that did? That destroyed all of the plant life on the planet. And then they decide to try to reverse it. They bomb all the volcanoes because they think that'll create clouds. They literally create the apocalypse, and the final scene is them trying to explain to the baby dinosaur that Daddy was in charge of the planet for a little while, and he really messed up, and there's not going to be a planet for them to live, for the baby and its brother to live on anymore. And then it cuts with them in their home, nuclear winter, snow falling all around them. They're all about to fucking die. And that's how they ended a fucking Jim Henson show.
Rox, what does this mean for the end of us?
I don't know, dog. But anyway, thank you for watching the Gravity Cancel podcast, or listening if you're on Spotify. I don't know why you'd be on Spotify when you can come see our beautiful faces live. I apologize for the tangents. Maybe we should start a regular podcast where we talk about funny stuff. Probably not. No one would listen to that.
Before we actually after this, I just want to give a shout out to Spyfar the Great. Was dropping some comments and stuff, and we completely ignored them.
Oh, was he?
We will catch up. Yeah, you just started posting pictures of Camp Laszlo below.
Oh no.
So thank you for tuning in, and we'll figure out a way to better moderate that so that we can actually be privy to what you're posting.
Yeah, my issue is every time that I start, like when I open OBS, Discord will start streamer mode, and then you don't get notifications anymore.
Yep.
So we'll figure that out.
So we'll figure that out. But thanks for tuning in. Like, I'm not used to having a live audience, and having you guys here is awesome. So go ahead, finish us out, Rox.
Thank you for listening to the Gravity Cancel podcast. Turns out we have a little bit more fun when we're not talking about Brawlhalla. Don't know what that says about the current state of Brawlhalla. Fucking ruined game, game over, fucking dead game, fucking canceled, fucking uninstalled. But thanks for watching or listening. Spank Cakes, you got anything?
That's it, man. Catch you episode 29 where we'll talk about the next 2 years of Brawlhalla.
Bye.
Bye.
I'm glad I didn't do the peace sound like I did last time. That was pure cringe. All right. Oof.